Hey my Frugal friends, welcome back to my channel. Ooh, whoops. Start that again and stop hitting that table. Or if you're new around here and we haven't had the chance to hang out before, my name is Nikki. I'm an Aussie mum and I love sharing all of the tips and tricks that have helped our family budget better, demolish all of our debt, skyrocket our savings, and still have heaps of frugal fun along the way. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in coming along for the ride, then maybe think about hitting that little subscribe button before we hit the end of today's video. Now today's video is a cash stuffing video. We're going to jump in and do what we've got to do to January's budget. If you haven't already checked out our budget for January, I will link that up above and you can go and get the deets of all of the things that are happening in January's budget. But today we're going to go and put some cash in these guys so that we can keep our budget on track. All right, well, just before we jump in and stuff these cash envelopes with some money for the month ahead, for those of you guys who are new around here and you haven't seen one of our cash stuffing envelope videos or our budgeting videos, basically we run a split budget, which means that some of our expenses are paid for with our bank, our ATM card or direct debits or BPay or whatever. And we usually do things like utilities and phones and internet and those sorts of expenses just come out of our account. And then we like to use cash for the areas of our budget that are variable. They are the things that we either set the budget for ourselves and need to stick to, or we have lots of swipes and taps and purchases coming out. So things like groceries and miscellaneous spending and splash cash, those sorts of things that can be hard to track because it's not just a one-off expense. Like your internet, our internet only comes out once a month. So it's easy to pay that, know that it's paid, and that's done. So those sorts of things go on the card. And then we use cash as a way to manage the parts of our budget that really are variable and are really determined by us and how much we spend in those categories. So that's how we've set up our cash envelope, our budget in general. It's not all cash, it's not all card. One of my weaknesses is that I'm not really great at tracking expenses. It is something that I'm going to try and do in 2021. So I think that by doing that, it's going to help me know whether or not I'm budgeting enough in each of these categories and stay on track with our bigger goals throughout the year. But the reality is that I'm really good at doing a budget. I'm not great at tracking my expenses. So cash envelopes is a really easy way for me to know how much money I have left to spend in each of these categories, because I can just open up my envelope and see that there's nothing in there. I'm all done. It's time to stop spending. So let's jump in and have a look at this month's envelopes and allocations. I'm a little bit tongue-tied here today, guys, so hopefully today's video will make sense and we can get through it together. So the first thing that I am going to do is I'm going to sort the categories that we are going to fill today and the ones that we aren't. So again, we're not going to put anything aside for alcohol. We will put some money aside for personal care. We're not allocating anything for date night. We will have some money in clothing. We are going to have some money in family fun this month, but we are not going to put any money aside for eating out. We do have a miscellaneous budget, but it is going to be on the card. It's not going to be in cash this month. And I will just check that there isn't anything left in there. There is not. We will be putting money aside for fuel and for groceries. So I can get these guys out of the way because we're not going to put any money or any cash, I should say, aside for these guys, and get to the fun part. Now, one of the things that I do that you guys, oh, and you can hear her in the background with all the coins. One of the things that you guys don't see very often, because I always forget to show you guys, is I do actually clean out my coin purse at the end of each month, or at the start of each month when I do the cash envelopes. And what I will do is take any of the gold coins, so the $1 and the $2, they all go aside for Charlotte for her pocket money, and then we cash her out. So she earns $6 a week to do her jobs. She also has duties as well, which are the jobs that everybody just pitches in and helps for. So we run jobs and duties and jam jars, like the Scott Pape method. And I pay her $6 a week in coins, but we will cash that out for larger notes when she gets there. So we recycle a little bit of that, but I also put my coins in there. And then all of the silver coins go into, hold it, our coin jar. And then when it is full, I take it to the bank and cash it out. And I think in January, we're going to go and cash this out because that is pretty full. So that is what happens with all of our coins. It's just another way to save, and this is how we do Charlotte's pocket money, chore money, whatever you want to call it. We call it jobs and duties money. So I'm going to go and put that aside for us to use for her. Like I said, it does get recycled because every time she gets, say, $20, I'll change it for a $20 note. And then I get all of those coins back again, which I get to use. But I do top it up whenever I have coins as well. Okay, and the other thing that I am going to do this month, which I don't often do, is I am going to take out any of our leftover cash from all of our envelopes. We're going to start fresh. So this is leftover money from December's grocery budget. And I'm going to put all of this stuff aside into our back to the bank account that we have. So at the end of the month, this will go back to the bank. It'll go into our house savings fund, depending on what's left. But this is usually the money that I use to change out with Charlotte as well. So I do hold on to that until I will hold on to the leftover money from December's envelopes until the start of February, and if I need to change out anything, I have that cash on me, and then it'll go back to the bank. I think that makes sense. So we will just have a look and see. We did have a little bit. So fuel, we had, oh, I should have said that. We had $50 left over in our fuel as well. And then all of these, the only one I won't cash out is clothing, because that is actually a sinking fund account. So we put money aside for that every month, and when we need to go clothes shopping, we will. So I don't empty that one out. And personal care is another one that I do sort of roll over a little bit if I need to, but that's that. Job done. So now let's get into the really fun stuff of stuffing our cash envelopes. So for the month of January, it is January. Can you guys believe that it is 2021? We're going to put $400 aside for groceries. That is $100 a week for our family of 3. And again, what I would like to do is a low spend month. Again, we're going to try and save as much of this as we can, and anything that is left over at the end of the month will go back to the bank eventually. So that's groceries. Next up is fuel. So we will put $150 aside for fuel for the month. We do live rurally, so we do have a bit of a commute in and out of town when we need to go and do those sorts of things. So yeah, our fuel bill is a little bit high, but realistically it's probably not really that bad considering where we live. Splash cash. This is our personal spending money for Shan and myself. So each month we get $50 to go and spend on whatever we want. This is the money that we use to buy treats and ice cream and junk food and those sorts of things that don't come out of the grocery budget. Stickers for bullet journaling, you know, if you have that sort of obsession. That's where all of this money comes from. And Shannon will have his $50 in his wallet, and I will keep mine in this envelope. Now occasionally we will save this if we want to buy something larger. We'll save up for a couple of months and buy something. But otherwise it's just, some people call it blow money, splurge money, splash cash. Alright, personal care, I'm also going to put $50 aside into that. That covers things like shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, haircuts. It would cover makeup and getting your nails done, but I don't really do that, so it doesn't really cover that. But that is the gist of that one there. Clothing, we are going to put $50 into our clothing sinking fund. And like I said, we'll have a little bit of a stockpile in there for when we need to go clothes shopping. And last of all, we are going to put $70 aside for our family fun. Now, we don't actually have anything specific in mind at the moment, but we are thinking about doing a little bit of camping. So this we will hold on to if our fuel allocation isn't quite enough. Like if we need a little bit more because we're, you know, running around in the four-wheel drive, which is a bit of a gas guzzler, we will have some extra funds. But the idea is hopefully we will be able to keep the majority of this and not touch it. And again, if we don't need to use it, then it will go back to the bank and go into the house savings fund again at the end of the month. So that's it. That is January's cash envelopes. It's pretty quiet at our place this month, but hopefully next month it'll start to get a little bit more exciting after we have finalized our financial goals for 2021, and I can share them with you guys and let you know what we're up to. Some small savings goals, some larger ones. We'll still be working towards that really big goal of saving up to buy a house. But yeah, for now, that will get us through. Well, that's it from me today. Like always, if you did enjoy today's video, if you could please give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. It lets me know the kind of content that you guys are enjoying and what you would like to see more of. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, then why don't you go ahead and hit that little subscribe button down the bottom. It is the best way to be notified of my new content when it comes out. And I have heaps of new content in the works for you guys for 2021. And you know what, if you would like to hang out a little bit more, then why don't you come over and say g'day. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, and I would love to get to know you a little bit better over there as well. Well, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic week, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.